In this video, we're going to answer the question, what are the top 3 mistakes to avoid with your tax refund prior to bankruptcy? So stay tuned, Bankruptcy Bailout Buddies. Welcome, borrowers and debtors, to Bankruptcy Bailout, because debt ruins lives, not bankruptcy. So in this video, we're going to talk about what not to do with your tax refund before you file bankruptcy. So I assume you're watching this video because you're getting ready to file bankruptcy and you either just got or are about to get your tax refund, and your bankruptcy attorney may have told you, go spend it. And the reason you have to do that is either some or all of your tax refunds not going to be protected if you file bankruptcy, and therefore the bankruptcy trustee is going to take it to pay something over to your unsecured creditors. I have another video that talks about that, so click on the banner as it goes by if you want to learn more about that issue. However, we're going to discuss what are the top 3 mistakes to avoid in using your tax refund prior to bankruptcy. So, number 3, mistake to avoid with your tax refund. Absolutely do not pay back any family members or friends to which you might owe money. Okay, because that is a big no-no, because the bankruptcy trustee is just going to go and get that money back. All right, your family members are creditors like any other creditor. So if you pay them back, so if you pay back grandma who lent you $2,000 so you could pay rent, don't pay her back before bankruptcy and don't use your tax refund to do so. That's what we call a preference. And a preference is something the trustee can go after, because what you're doing is you're paying mom ahead of, say, your Chase credit card, even though they're, from a legal perspective, in the exact same position. So, number 3 mistake to avoid, do not pay back friends or family members prior to filing bankruptcy with your tax refund. You can pay them back after the bankruptcy. No one cares what you do afterwards, just don't do it before. Number 2 mistake to avoid, and this is similar to the first one, is just don't pay back any other creditors prior to filing bankruptcy. In particular, don't pay back your unsecured creditors prior to filing bankruptcy. Because I get this question a lot about, well, I want to keep this, XYZ credit card, so I want to pay them off so I don't have to include them in bankruptcy. Sorry, no, that doesn't work. Okay, even if you were to pay them off, that creditor is going to close the account when they find out about the bankruptcy, and you're still creating that preference issue that I mentioned earlier. And the trustee is just going to unwind that transaction and take that money back. Now, you can use the tax refund to pay back secured creditors, right? So if you need to make a mortgage payment or you need to make a car payment, you can do that with your tax refund, but don't pay back any unsecured creditors. That's your credit cards, medical bills, payday loans, student loans, those type of debts. Okay? And the number 1 thing not to do with your tax refund is what I call cash and stash. There's simply too much of a paper trail associated with your tax refund. So if you get a $8,000 tax refund, you can't just go cash in, say, $4,000 of it and just put that cash in a drawer somewhere in your house. The trustee is going to want to see what you did with the money, and you have to be able to supply documentation in order to justify that. So don't cash and stash. Okay? So what can you do with the tax refund? Well, you can spend it down. You can spend it down on necessary living expenses. There's usually bills that need to be caught up, things like electrical bills, car payments, mortgage payments, rent payments, that kind of thing. You can certainly spend it on living expenses. But the 3 big mistakes to avoid is paying back any friends or family members, paying back any unsecured creditors, and of course just cashing and stashing it. Unfortunately, there is some cost to filing bankruptcy sometimes, and around tax refund season, the trustees are looking to get your tax refund. So the best thing you can do if you want to get the advantage of your tax refund is to file your taxes, get your tax refund, and then spend it reasonably. Okay, we'll certainly create another video on how to spend it reasonably, but those are the mistakes to avoid. My name is Matt Burkus. I'm a Colorado bankruptcy and debt relief attorney. I've been doing this for 18 years. I offer free initial phone consultations to residents of Colorado for the purposes of bankruptcy. We look forward to working with you, and best of luck.